So it's been incredibly serendipitous to have met you, Steve, along my journey. There's obviously lots in common. We're both, wounded soldiers from the South African Army experience, which I think has brought us closer together, and it's just also allowed us to acknowledge a shared history and what we've been through, and that this is a very marginalized experience, because so many people bury it or don't want to acknowledge it or even talk about it. And in your case, you've not just engaged with it, but you've written a doctorate on it and really explored it, not just personally but as a kind of condition in society. And it's very, very important that your doctorate becomes part of our understanding of life in South Africa, and particularly the militarized white youth experience. And then, of course, professionally, there are lots of intersections. I mean, you're a great designer. You're able to deliver lots of things that that I have lots of common interests in. It's one thing to be an artist, one thing to be a photographer, but in this modern day and age, it's how you are able to make those things work, how you can take it to other levels. Photographs are fine in their own right, but they can be exhibitions, they can be books, they can be websites, and you have a multiple range of skills that kind of connects with my and resonates with my ways that I like to work. I mean, I also like to work in multiple different formats: exhibitions, books, websites, film, and so on. So the storyteller in me and providing sort of multiple outlets for narratives makes you a perfect match. And I'm very thankful that I found someone, kindred spirit, who also loves to produce bodies of work that connect out there, not just for the money or to tick a box, but to basically kind of take it to another level of creativity, and your creative instincts totally resonate with what I do in the world. And it's I'm very grateful for this meeting point and the meeting of minds, and also just how we both find ourselves in South Africa, wounded soldiers looking at the past but also looking at the present, and not being too afraid to ask difficult questions and stand up against political orthodoxy that tends to close one down. And you're courageous in that sense, that you're not just a Yabas. You weren't a Yabas then, and you're not a Yabas now. And so I particularly like that quality in you, and it resonates deeply within me.
Thanks so much, Paul. It's been an absolute privilege, and likewise, the relationship is reciprocal, and it's one in which I guess we can, through shared interests and through shared projects, we can provide contemporary South Africa with these documents that are perhaps of worth or perhaps not of worth to certain sectors, but at least the document itself remains and exists and resonates, we hope, in contemporary South Africa. So thanks again, Paul. Much
thank you,
appreciated.
Steve. Thank you. I mean, maybe I should just say, can I just conclude with
Yes,
something?
of course.
Just say, you know, so while I work as a photographer, you know, that's been generally the way I've survived. I have a parallel career in archives. And archives, of course, are a kind of contested issue, not just in South Africa, but throughout the world. And in that sense, I feel it's so important that one returns to the archive and upholds the archive, not to reinforce colonial, imperial, apartheid values, but in fact to do the exact opposite, to create a repository, a reservoir of material for future generations to delve into and understand the past so that they can build a better future. And that's why I'm not really in favor of these very fashionable positions about burning the archive or deleting material from repositories because they don't fit in with a particular currency or political ideology at the moment. Though that material is important to reflect on and to reframe as we travel along as individuals, human beings, and sentient beings.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Paul. Mutually appreciated.
Yeah.